Okay. Okay. Three, two, one, go.
Man, we finally see LeBron and Bronny take the NBA stage together. The Celtics start the season where they left off, and Klay Thompson turns back the hands of time. I'm Ro Zapanta. This is the Clinic All NBA podcast. I have the three hooligans with me. JJ, how you living, my friend?
Woo! Feeling good. I'm feeling great. I miss you guys. What's up?
Man, I missed you guys too. John, how you living, my friend?
I hate to be that guy, but I think it's two hooligans. But you know what? We're a little rusty. We'll get back on track, my guy. But you know what? I cannot.
I'm including RJ in this, okay?
That's right. I'm sorry, RJ, you're the man. But I gotta say, man, I am excited to be back. I cannot put into words how it feels, but it's good to see you guys. Let's talk some basketball.
Man, it is definitely so good to see you guys for season 5 of the Clinic
Wow.
All NBA podcast. And we have to start this off because basketball is finally here. And we have to do some way too early reactions. Boys, which of the 2-0 teams have impressed you the most? We have the Celtics, the Hawks, the Cavs, the Magic, the Warriors, and now the Lakers. John, which team has impressed you the most?
I'm not gonna.
Don't you dare.
Look, I don't want to
Do it.
overreact, boys.
Do it.
I don't want to overreact.
Is it Bronny?
But I'm getting ready to hang the banner. Let's get it, dude. Lakers, let's go. Let us go. The season is back. Yo, we beat the Wolves and we beat the Suns. Two very good teams. Probably teams that are going to be in the top 5 of the West, right? Would you say? Top 6?
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure. I would say top 6.
Top 6. So my way too early reaction is JJ Redick was the missing piece to this Lakers team. Look, hey, what would they call him? Darvin Hamas? I'm sorry if that offends anybody, but like, yo, Darvin was a basketball terrorist out here, man. He was doing some things, putting his hands in his pockets, not calling plays. I mean, you guys all saw it last season. What was he doing? Writing on the clipboard, and he wasn't even drawing up a play. He was saying, yo, play some defense or hustle. He's right on the clipboard, man, where you draw plays. All right, so my way too early reaction before I throw it over to you guys is I gotta go with my Lakers. Come on, you know I'm a big time Laker fan. I think the Lakers have a legit chance to be great this year because what I'm seeing in the first 2 games is that their offense is a lot more fluid. There's a lot more motion. People are not standing in spots. They're not waiting for LeBron and they're like standing in the corner, standing, on the wing, waiting for LeBron to drive. There's a lot of movement. And I think JJ Redick, actually, there's something to him as a coach. I know he's very green, he's very new, but I like what I'm seeing so far. So I'm rolling with my Lakers.
Let me add on to that, John. Like,
Please.
it's not very often that I give props to the Lakers, but one of my summer revelations from the Olympics, and I don't know if this is a hot take, but while I was watching, I was thinking, how did the Lakers end up with the record that they had with AD and LeBron? And the Olympics, Kerr had the closing lineup with LeBron and AD almost each and every single night that they played. And you could argue, I know that LeBron got the MVP, but during that time period where we watched the Olympics, AD was the top 3 player. And straight up,
Right.
like if you have 2 of the best, or 2 out of the 5 best players in the NBA,
In the
there's
world.
no excuse for the Lakers to have that record. And the only person that I could think that we could blame is Darvin Hamas. I mean,
Yo, like, okay. Before I throw it,
Wait, I have to ask this. Are we surprised? Are we surprised by the way the Lakers have started out, or did you guys think that JJ Redick was really the missing piece? Were there some doubts going into the season at all, or what do you think?
Okay, there's definitely doubts, and let me take a step back off the cloud that I'm on. Right, these are the early takes though, so I will say that I don't want to give too much credit to JJ Redick, right? Because I will say that when Darvin Ham was the coach, the Lakers went on a groove in the middle of the season, towards the end of the season. That's why they made the play-in. Because if you remember, in the first 20 games, Ham was shuffling, trying all of these new lineups, playing Cam Reddish entirely way too many minutes. He had a bromance with Taurean Prince, who played well, but he just wasn't playing defense or doing the other intangibles. And this starting five, Rui Hachimura, AD, Austin Reeves, Braun, and D'Angelo Russell. This was the squad last year that went on a streak and won a lot of games. And this is the team. Redick is not asinine enough to play. It's not asinine to play anybody else, or it is asinine to play anybody else but these starting five. And so you're seeing the Lakers, what they did last year, it's translating this year early. So there's a good chance that they're going to avoid the play-in. But this is, again, JJ Redick's been coaching up really well so far. But again, this starting five has played well since last year. So it's a combination of both. But yes, to answer your question, June, I think I was a little skeptical about JJ Redick, I'll be honest. But I like what I'm seeing so far, 2 games in.
JJ, which of the 2-0 teams impressed you the most?
okay, so if we're gonna break down the list, we have the Celtics. No surprise, they're the defending champions. The Cavs, we've always said that we've loved their defense, and they just needed to make that next step. The Magic as well, they're in the talking, they're in the discussion for dark horse candidates. Hawks for sure are surprising because, you know, we've been saying when will Trey make the jump because Luka has, and the Warriors. Like, Warriors made changes on the margins, which, you know, for championship caliber team, you do to get better. But to be 2-0 and the 2-0 start, they're winning convincingly. They won by 30 the other night, and then tonight they won by 45.
I know you're gonna call me a hater.
But
I know,
yes,
but
I know the competition.
but I will say that you can only play who's in front of you, and I think it's great that the Warriors are actually pounding these teams. They're obliterating these teams as they should.
As they should.
June's favorite team, the Blazers, are terrible.
Yes.
Oh man, come on, Blazers.
Yeah. And the Jazz are pretty terrible too. And I'm sure they're really upset that they didn't trade Lauri Markkanen into the Warriors. So there's a lot more. It was personal for the Warriors tonight. So I agree with that. I think the Warriors are, you know, looking great.
Yeah, I'm gonna completely agree with that Warriors take, JJ. And the biggest thing for me is that Steph Curry got to rest in the fourth quarter in both games, and also the Utah Jazz, they actually took the Memphis Grizzlies to the brink in the season opener. So I don't think the Jazz are some like rollover team, because they can be pretty feisty. They have actually pretty good young talent there. So the Warriors to me are impressive because I thought this was a rebuilding year. I thought it was going to be a down year for the Warriors, but it seems like they retooled, at least so far. 2 games in, they have retooled, it seems. And we'll see what the rest of the season has to come. The first thing I want to talk about, Klay Thompson. In his first post-Warriors game was a smashing success. The 4-time NBA champion scored 22 points on 7 of 13 shooting from the field and 6 of 10 from three-point range in his Mavericks debut, helping Dallas beat the San Antonio Spurs 120-109. This was on Thursday night at the American Airlines Center. Those 6 3-pointers that Klay Thompson made are the most by a player making his Mavericks debut. Is this something or nothing? Like, are we thinking that Klay Thompson is quote unquote back. Jay, what do you think?
I mean, I'm really happy
Back from
that...
the dead, JJ.
Let me go ahead and like get this out there as like a hardcore Klay Thompson fan who, like, I don't want to say betrayed the Warrior fan base, but you know, I have to be like super honest. Warriors offered him $24 million. He wanted that $30 million per year contract, which is kind of crazy considering that the Warriors did pay him those max contract when he was injured, John.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So
Yep.
you would think that he would take less, but he didn't. And then he ends up signing with the Mavs for $16 million per year. Okay, so it's, you know, it's kind of weird. Like you thank someone for what they've done, but they kind of moved on to a group where just like, come on, man, like, you really leaving your legacy? But I'll just say this: the Mavs signing Klay Thompson, I know that their GM said that was the missing link that put them over the top, and all I could think was 0 for 10 Klay. That label, that just kills me, man. But now all he has to do is just catch and shoot, and he'll be automatically better than Dorian Finney-Smith, who played like ass, right, during the finals, and Bullock, who played terrible as well. So if Klay Thompson just plays his role and catches and shoots, unlike last year where he was like, June, you were watching the Warriors with me, like, he kind of forced shots, he kind of changed up his game, he didn't have the proper attitude. Steve Kerr even confirmed that Klay Thompson's attitude has changed.
Is Klay back? Well, not to overreact, but definitely not. I don't think he's back.
It's a fluke.
I mean, I don't think it's a fluke, but what I think is Klay. Okay, so Klay can still make shots. He can hit threes. Obviously, he shot over 50% from the first game against San Antonio. But where I think Klay is a liability, given his ACL injury, his severe injuries, is
both,
that
man, Achilles. And
that's right. He tore his Achilles and
Yeah.
he's ACL. I'm sorry. Is the liability on defense, right?
Right.
Is he going to be playable in those important games when it comes down to it? Dallas is going to make the playoffs, obviously, barring any serious injury to Luka or Kyrie. And when they make the playoffs, they're probably gonna, I don't know if they're gonna go as deep. I think a lot of things fell their way last year. But if they were able to make it deep in the playoffs, Klay is going to get attacked by whoever he's guarding. And I think that if he's not able to score at this clip, at this rate, is it going to be worth having him on the floor? Because I don't think he can play the same defense. And as you, Bro, and JJ watch the Warriors, Klay looked like he was a traffic cone on defense, getting blown by. He and that crumbles the team defense. The Warriors are playing exceptional defense from the first two games. And I know it's early, but I think a part of that is Klay was a liability that people were not ready to admit because of all of the things he's done in the past. But he's older, he's had serious injuries, he can't move as quickly laterally, and I think that's going to be the key here, and I don't know if he's going to be able to sustain that.
Yeah, John, I
Defensively.
100% agree. When I'm watching the Warriors now, the one thing that I notice is that we play so much faster than last year. And I think Klay Thompson, he just can't run even up and down the court as fast as he used to get those like wide open, like fast break threes. But I am optimistic that Luka Doncic is going to play and slow down the game enough for Klay Thompson to be a more effective shooter. And this first game that we've seen Klay in, it's proving me right.
Good point.
The next topic I want to get into is about the Clippers and the Intuit Dome.
Shout out Sammy.
I'm so sad Sammy's
Sammy.
not here.
He
Sammy.
is currently out indefinitely like Kawhi Leonard. The show began Wednesday night with the Clippers owner Steve Ballmer standing with the fans on the east side of his palace called Intuit Dome in an area known as The Wall. Ballmer was like dancing frenetically with his fans inside of his $2 billion venue before he took the microphone. He said, "Welcome home, Clippers Nation." Then the curtains came down on the Clippers. They ended up losing in overtime, dropping a 116-113 game in overtime to the Suns. First, let's start with the Intuit Dome. Were you guys impressed with like the wall and just the general like lore of this dome that Steve Ballmer has made?
I'm gonna go ahead and say, yeah, I think the concept's really cool. I even read that there was a Suns fan for opening night that he snuck in underneath his garments a Durant jersey, and as soon as he wore it, they escorted him out. They didn't kick him out of the Intuit Dome, but he had to be reseated in another part of the arena. So like Ballmer's keeping true to his word that only Clipper fans could sit at the wall. But I'm not gonna steal this idea, but John texted our group, and when I watched the game, I thought the exact same thing, John, which was, did Ballmer and Intuit Dome feed the speaker system with audience sound, just like Seattle Seahawks, Century Field?
Interesting.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, it sounded so loud.
And there were empty seats. Sorry,
There were
Sammy.
yeah, no, it sounded really loud. And I'm like, okay, one, I understand this is a new dome, but this is, and you know what? I could be, and I'm gonna try to be objective here and fair, right? I'm gonna be impartial, Sammy, just for you. I know you're listening. I know you're available. You just didn't want to pod with us tonight, okay? So, I think the way that they, from what I was reading, right, the way that they designed the dome actually makes like the acoustic and the sound bounce well. So, and I think it has something to do with, I don't know if it's like a steeper, it could be the material, obviously, it could be the foundation, it could be like the angles that they built it at, but it certainly sounded like manufactured sound. I could be wrong. But to your question about the wall, honestly, I think that concept, even KD in that first game against the Suns, KD and I think Booker said that it was kind of intimidating. It's something that they haven't never seen before. And they were missing free throws that they normally don't miss. I mean, Booker's probably like 85, 87% free throw shooter. Durant's close to that as well, like sub 90. And so, like, they were missing shots. So, I mean, if it helps give your team an advantage, hey, good for you. I think the dopest thing about the dome, though, is the 360, the big scoreboard at the top. That thing is sick. You know, I don't think there's ever been that the concept like that is pretty cool to think, like, anywhere you sit, right? Obviously, no, they have, like, at a normal one, what is it? It's just 4 panels, right? 4. But
Right.
just to have it completely wrap around is pretty dope. So I think it's a great area. I'm just glad that they're out of crypto and away from my life, to be honest with you.
JJ, do you think the wall mattered? John seems to think so.
I think when playoff time comes, we'll see. But it's all of like crowd noise is a huge thing. Like I know I just clowned Century Field, but Seattle Seahawks fans, like when they go there, they're loud. The structure of Century Field, kind of like what John hit on, is it's supposed to emulate like an orchestra, where the sound bounces. So
Right.
like I don't know if I mean the wall is kind of shaped like an orchestra where it's kind of like a pit,
Right.
and we'll see. Like it's too early to tell, but will it play a part if it is indeed structured, and the sound engineering is where the fans, when they do get into it, play a part? Yeah, I think it can. But
I
right
will-
now,
I will s-
go ahead, John. Sorry.
No, go finish your
No,
thought.
no, I'm done. Yeah.
Oh, I'm just gonna say. I mean, it won't, bro. It's not gonna. The wall's not gonna matter if Kawhi Leonard is in a walking boot for 65 games of the year.
Yeah.
That's also true.
Let's just
That's
be
also
real,
true.
right?
Yeah.
It won't. That won't make a difference. Like Kawhi Leonard needs to get healthy, and I don't know if that's gonna happen, unfortunately. But
I am like low key interested to see like or to hear about the acoustics of that stadium, and I want them to do what they do for football fields, where they like measure the decibels like on the field. Because when you sent out that text, I did turn on that game, and I'm like, dude, this place sounds loud,
right.
like really loud. Anyway, I'm gonna move us on to the next topic here. The Los Angeles Lakers tipped off their season against the Minnesota Timberwolves with a 110-103 victory, their first opening night win in 8 years. But the real story wasn't about the scoreboard. LeBron James, in his 22nd NBA season, and his son Bronny took the floor together, marking the first time in league history that a father-son duo played for the same team in the same game. I have two parents here with me. What did you guys think of this moment, just as a parent?
You know, when I said on the previous topic that I wish Sammy was here to talk about the Clippers, for this, I'm glad that Sammy is not here to talk about this moment because I know he would be such a little hater. I'm just playing, Sammy. I'm just messing with you. No, as a parent, strictly as a parent, and I have a 10-month-old, so I think JJ would probably be able to kind of express this in a much better way just because his children are older. Is I think being able to experience something like that with your child at that level of competition in a professional sport, the highest level of basketball, right? They consider the highest level of basketball in the in the NBA, is really cool. Like, I understand the criticism around it. I understand, like, you know, whether or not he deserved to be drafted, and honestly, I get some of that argument, especially based off his credentials and based off what he's done, and based off the skill in the basketball that we've seen so far. That's not to say he can't be a great player, but speaking strictly of being a father, playing a professional sport that you love and you've been doing for your almost half your life, more than half your life, excuse me, it's been 22 years for LeBron, I can only imagine how cool that is. Like, watching it, I think it's cool. I think if people really kind of step back, and what's weird to me is the whole idea of well, there's a lot of hate around this about like strictly with LeBron, right? But there's been a lot. I feel like if this was anybody but LeBron, somebody who's just like such in the spotlight, because he is considered one of the greatest, if not the greatest basketball player, there's always going to come that hate and that criticism. But if you really look at it, it's like a very wholesome moment if you really just look at it for what it is. And I think it's super cool. Like, and he did it for 3 minutes, and that was that. Like, I don't think he should get meaningful playing time. I don't think he's ready. But just to have that moment where it's only been, 4 other father-son duos. I don't know what the other sports are, but I think it's super cool. The moment it's gone and it's past, but, you know, enjoy for what it is. I think people need to stop hating. So, go ahead, JJ, hate.
No, like, you know, nepotism and in general is viewed in a negative aspect, but this was really cool, and I'm gonna give actually props to Bronny James because his dad is LeBron, and even post game versus the season opener, LeBron in his post conference gear, he's like wearing like a sports jacket that's like bright without a shirt underneath, you know, and he walks in and it's like, oh, I wonder what Bronny's gonna wear, right? I wonder if he's gonna come in like a Deion Sanders kid, like, you know, trying to absorb the moment and, you know, be a rock star. But Bronny comes in with like a hoodie, he says all the right things, and I respect that, man. Like, from like the optics of how the Lakers and how Bronny's been playing it, I think it's cool. Like, come on now, like, isn't it like a lot of fathers' dream that not only that their kid is successful, but to play the sport or they're into the craft that you're into, and they're doing it well. Like, Bronny James wasn't a scrub, to be fair too. Like, he went to USC. He was ranked high out of high school. So.
Yeah, he was a McDonald's All-American. And I guess a question for you,
Right.
JJ, is like when you're like your kids, right? When you're experiencing something with it, because my 10th month old, obviously, when I see her do something for the first time, or when I see her excel or enjoy or being able to kind of accomplish something, right? Like she's starting to stand on her own or walk. I think she's gonna be walking fairly soon. But to see her accomplish something like that just gives me kind of that like. It's a joy that it's hard to express, you know what I mean? And not to get too sentimental or too mushy, because I know we're talking sports here, but I feel like if I feel that way about it, can you imagine just seeing your son make it to the highest level of sports? And not only that, but being able to experience that with him, right? Or her, whatever it may be. And I think one of the coolest things that I think LeBron, and I think he's super, I don't think it's disingenuous at all, but he talked about, you know, being in the NBA, you're practicing, you're training all, like, to be as good as LeBron is, it obviously takes some skill, some luck, some genetics, obviously, but he works his ass off. And by doing that, you're taking time away from spending time with your family. And so he says it's a great way to kind of make up for that lost time that he was when he was training, you know, playing in Cleveland, obviously.
That's a good point, man.
You know what I mean? So I think that, like, that's the part that, you know, as like, just take the sports aside, man. That's really cool. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, like, and just to like add on, June and John, like JJ Redick kind of played it right too when he got asked about the substitution with Bronny and LeBron, and JJ Redick was like, "Oh, I didn't realize people were clapping because I was too focused on the game." So I was just like, "Oh, maybe he did mean to sub Bronny James due to a functionality within the substitution and not just for like theatrics."
For the moment. Yeah, for the moment.
You know
right.
what I mean?
Right. Or he's just being coy and smart about it.
I think he's being smart about it, dude.
Probably, but
Yeah.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, dude.
Because like
he doesn't-
Bronny
yeah.
only played 3 minutes. Like it was like, oh, that was an accident, dude. I gotta pull this guy out.
Yeah, and I also think the Wolves went on like a 9-0 run when he came in. It
Ooh,
wasn't his
ouch.
fault, but like, you know
he
what I
was
mean.
matched up with like what Anthony Edwards.
I know.
Like he did not stand a chance.
Yeah.
I have to ask. We're gonna switch gears a little bit here because I do want to talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves a little bit. We saw the catless Minnesota Timberwolves with Julius Randle. Do you guys think there's even a chance for this team? Do you guys like the switch, or what did you guys think?
Oh man, JJ, go. I got some thoughts, but I want you to go first.
Oh man. I mean, I'm not a Julius Randle fan. I've never been.
Yeah.
I think
You're also not a cat fan.
I'm not a cat fan either, but I think Cat's
Even trade.
his upside is a lot higher than Julius Randle, to be frank.
I agree.
And call me crazy, even though I feel like Julius Randle and Anthony Edwards, their attitudes are too much alike where they might actually butt heads later on because they're both very confident individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So it's like kind of those things where two alphas are in the same room and can they really mesh well? Like I know we talked about it within our own like text string, but for me, I didn't like the trade because the Villanova Knicks, I thought they needed time to develop chemistry and really play it out. Like they didn't have a chance to play together. And like they kind of pulled a huge move with Cat. So I don't know, it's too of course, right? Like it's got a cop out answer, which is it's too early to tell with Cat, but let's not forget Cat has had experience playing with Thibs, and Thibs and him did not like each other in Minnesota.
I don't like it because as much as I think Cat can be a much more aggressive and a better center. I mean, he has some things that he does really well, but there are things that just annoy me to no end. And Julius Randle,
Yes.
I know he put up so many points, and I think in the second game, the Wolves won, and Julius Randle was just balling out of his mind. But Cat was such a floor spacer as a big, and opening up lanes, driving lanes for Anthony Edwards. I know Anthony Edwards can pull up and shoot, but they're going to start clogging the paint. I think you're going to see more and more of clogging the paint, forcing Julius Randle to take these threes. I know he shot well from three in game 2, but I don't think he's consistent. He's streaky, and he's just not. I don't know. And then there was a comment. I don't know if you guys heard this, but Anthony Edwards told Julius Randle, "Don't try to adjust to us. We'll try to adjust to you." And in my mind, my initial thought was, that's a terrible, terrible idea. That is an awful idea, right? Isn't that
Yes.
terrible? Why would you build or plan around Julius Randle? Julius Randle needs to adjust his game around the team that made the Western Conference Finals. Like, I do not like it for the Wolves. I know they won the second game, but they didn't win by much, and Julius Randle had to go off. And I'm sure I didn't watch the highlights, I didn't watch the game, but I can imagine Julius Randle did a lot of ISO because that's what he does. He's kind of a ball stopper.
Absolutely. And that actually takes us to our next topic here. It's a would you rather. Would you rather bet 100K on one of these three options? The New York Knicks becoming a top 3 team in the East, the Minnesota Timberwolves make it to the NBA Finals with the addition of Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo, or the Philadelphia 76ers will make it past the first round of the playoffs with the addition of PG3. I'm going to start it off with JJ here. What do you think?
Man, with the 100K, John. Oh.
The fourth option, there's a dumpster that's on fire in the corner, and you could also choose to flick it, throw it in there.
I'm gonna have to say that the New York Knicks, oh man, they'll be a top 3 team. I don't buy them though, guys. Like, I think it's fool's gold, but these are all terrible choices, which makes the game fun. But if I have to bet 100K, I'll probably say the New York Knicks will be a top 3 East team. And we'll probably talk it later, but DraftKings have them as a top 3 team.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm not really confident in that answer.
I actually really like that answer. Sorry, John, I'm going to interrupt here. I like that answer. Their starting 5 is so nasty. Like OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, Karl Anthony Towns, Mikal Bridges, and Jalen Brunson. Like, those are real names. Like, if they can mesh that squad together, I wouldn't be surprised if they were a top 3 team in the East. John, what do you think?
I feel like the third option should be changed to the second round of the playoffs, right? I think the Sixers are a lock to make it out of past the first round.
Oh, okay.
I know. I feel like that might be a mistake, but I'm gonna.
I mean, is Embiid like
trust...
playing like, I don't know, like 65% of the games matter?
That's fair, but like if he's injured, then all bets are off. I think that's what you're basing it off of, right? Is that
that's where my hesitation went, was the whole Embiid situation. Yeah.
He's not reliable. He gets hurt often. So okay, I can see this, but I still think that with Maxey and PG-13, despite what I think about him, I still think they have enough talent to breeze past the first round. I think they'll breeze and past the first round. They'll win in like five games.
Man, so I guess we're gonna have to go ahead.
Yeah. I got a question for both of you. Over under 30 games Embiid and PG played together. Is it over 30 games or under 30 games that they played together?
Oh man.
When did they come back? Did they come back in like a week?
I am gonna say under.
A week in dog year. A week in dog years.
I'm gonna say under.
Under. They will
Yeah.
only play. John, how about you? What are you gonna say? How many games are they
Damn,
gonna play together?
under 30 games? That is like, I don't know, man.
Dude,
you guys
they're-
are making me second guess.
They're
This
both out right
100K.
now, man, and it's the beginning of the season.
Can I? Is it too late? Did I push all my 100K all in the middle of the table, or can I pull it? Can I pull it back? I mean, I'm gonna say over. I'm gonna say over. 30 games is not a lot, man. I feel like they're gonna play more than 30 games together. Like 40 minimum
40-ish?
40-ish. 30, man. That's not even half the season.
I guess we will have to just wait and see. I gotta like make another document to see, like, actually track this stuff this year. But anyway, I'm gonna take it to our next news here. And it has to do, of course, with what we were just talking about. And this is the quote that Joel Embiid had said. He said, "If I had to guess, I would probably never play back-to-backs for the rest of my career." This is what he told ESPN. Kevin Garnett had some things to say in his All the Smoke podcast. And he said this: 82 games, man. What the F-ing job calls for? You're not practicing? You don't play in the summer? I don't want to hear that ish, man. I don't want to hear none of this ish, man. Mother something can sit out of back-to-backs. Garnett played 82 games 4 times in his career. Embiid's career high is 68 in 2022. I wanted to ask you guys, is Kevin Garnett's reaction warranted here after hearing this news from Joel Embiid? JJ, what do you think? Oh, John, go ahead.
John, go.
Take it.
No, you go. That's my response for now. Yes.
Is it warranted? Okay, you get paid multi-millions. You have the best nutrition practices with the nutritionist. Barkley even said that you're only playing at the max 4 games a week. And my thing is that kind of like what Kobe and MJ had with their philosophy, which is people pay with their hard-earned money to watch you play, give them a show. And the fact that, preemptively, like not even trying, Embiid is already setting the expectation, I'm not playing back-to-backs, it's really disappointing. And you're an MVP candidate. I understand that the whole point of playing is, or one of the main points of playing is winning a championship, John. But I don't say this much, or I don't say this much, but KG has a point.
Yeah, he does. I mean, you don't man. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, if you don't have an injury and you're not sick, you don't have a family matter to attend to, you should be playing back-to-backs. To me, there's no excuse for that. And it's I understand that Joel Embiid has some wear and tear in the past, but like, hey man, if you are healthy, if you get cleared to play the game that, again, JJ's point, that people pay to see, to watch you, specifically watch you, the stars. They want to watch the team, but let's be real. A lot of people pay a lot of money because they want to watch LeBron James and Anthony Davis, not Gabe Vincent. So, like, you see what I'm saying?
How dare you?
Hey, man, Gabe Vincent could be a good role player, but, like, you get my point. And so, Kevin Garnett, like, he probably could have said this in a lot more PC, a little more family-friendly way. And I'm just glad he didn't say the word equivalent. But good for him for calling out Embiid, because I think it's warranted. To answer your question,
I also think it was warranted. The next topic here, GM Nico Harrison from the Mavs. He said, "We were a Klay Thompson away from winning NBA Finals. John, what do you think?
Well, we'll find out this year, won't we? Because if they don't win the NBA Finals, then you're full of it, man. So that's all I can say to that. I'll keep it brief.
Jay.
Like I said, Dorian Finney-Smith and Bullock missed a lot of shots during the finals, but the Mavs are known for their defense. Are you going to tell me that Klay, who John just described him as a cone on defense, Kyrie and Luka, if they play against a team like the Thunder, they're going to be able to stop them when it's been statistically evident that defense wins games?
No way.
That's my take.
Yeah, they're going to get cooked. Cooked. Well done, dude. Stick a fork.
Were any of those games really interesting? Legit
Mavs
question. Yeah, were any of them
Celtics?
like nail biters?
The Mavs and the Celtics?
Yeah.
No. I thought I remember.
The Celtics were far beyond the more talented team.
Mm-hmm.
Way more talented team. They had the better chemistry and everything. I don't think they were a Klay Thompson away. Not that year. At least this year can be different. I mean, everyone's got at least a slightly different, like, constructed team.
Mm-hmm.
But that year, I think the Celtics were gonna win it no matter what.
Yeah.
Because they were just on a roll. We have to talk about Kawhi Leonard a little bit. He's sidelined indefinitely as he rehabilitates the inflammation in his right knee. Are we surprised? I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at his injury and his.
This
I'm
sucks,
laughing at the
man.
fact that JJ cannot stop playing the soundboard of Kawhi Leonard laughing and doing the hey when he's addressing the Staples Center crowd. Those are classic memes. All right, I like. There's a reason why we have them on the soundboard and JJ keeps playing them incessantly. So, what was the question?
We could probably skip through this, right? I mean,
I just hope. Okay, here. How about this? I think I'll say
dude.
this. Let's hope same Kawhi, but honestly, like if he doesn't get better, he should retire. But we hope he gets better. I think that's all you can say at this point.
Jay, are you in alignment?
Yeah, just really quickly, like, it's a bad sign when he wants to go play on the Olympic team, even though he didn't play in the playoffs with the Clippers. So all the Clippers organization are like, what are you doing, dude?
I didn't even think of that.
He attends one practice, and Coach Kerr and the whole Olympic committee said, nah, you're going back home.
True.
Which is kind of crazy, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy.
Yeah. Pretty sad.
Our next topic, RJ's got to pull up this photo here, but Anthony Edwards and Justin Jefferson reimagined version of the Randy Moss and Kevin Garnett photo. And we have a picture of it here. What do we think of this photo? What did you guys think?
Oh wow, this is a photo, all right. So I guess get me are they implying that
It's dope.
they can? Well, are they implying? I think it's pretty dope, but are they implying that they can play each other's professional sport? Is that what I'm?
Kind of seems like it.
Right, like Ant-Man is wearing a Jefferson jersey and Jefferson is wearing an Ant-Man jersey.
Ant did say that on a pod that if he does win a championship within the next 3 to 4 years, he wants to retire from the NBA and play in the NFL. But I also think this is it's a callback to KG and Randy Moss when they were in their primes and owed to Minnesota.
That's right. Okay, yeah, no, that's dope though. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good like nostalgia nod to the OGs.
Yes.
Yeah, I like this a lot. But to answer that, I know we're going a little bit off tangent here, but I don't think Ant-Man can play in the NFL. I think he's athletic enough. Maybe he's fast enough, but you got to learn how to get hit, man. These guys been getting hit for a long time. Jefferson's been playing probably since, and I think Ant-Man played maybe in high school, but it's a different beast, man. Even college, but college to NFL, that's entirely something different. So
it depends on the position. I feel like,
Yeah, I mean, well, is Ant-Man going to be the punter or what?
Yeah, punter.
Because if he was like a running back and he got hit by like a lineman who was like 300 pounds, like he's never felt like
that's bad.
Like a hit like that in basketball, Anyway, we're gonna go to our ESPN Bet Future odds here. The Boston Celtics are 300 plus. I'm just gonna go in order here. The Thunder, the Knicks, Wolves, 76ers, Mavs. Are any of these interesting to you guys?
Lakers plus 3,300. I'm putting 100 on that.
All right, 100 on the Lakers. This is not gambling advice, by the way.
It's not. You might as well just take that $100 and buy some chicken wings or something with James Harden.
John, I'm gonna say like at a they're not
plus 1,300.
Yeah, plus 1,300 is kind of crazy.
That's kind of crazy. I feel like those are good odds.
Yeah, I would put a
like $10 on that.
Yeah, 100K like our past exercise there. No, I wouldn't. But
what's interesting to me is how far the Nuggets have fallen.
Oh, good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but honestly, I could see it. I think Jamal Murray, doesn't he look like he's regressed? Like the injuries have caught up to him. Even at the last year, he didn't look the same, and now early on, he's not looking. I mean, he could pick it up, but I think giving Jamal Murray that max contract was not a good idea, and maybe they didn't have a choice.
What do you guys think? That performance carried on from the Olympics too, John. He didn't perform that well in the Olympics, man.
Yeah. But
I agree, boys. Like the Nuggets, like not even favored within the top 5, considering they won, 2 seasons ago. Or it's kind of crazy. They already put the Thunder and the Knicks top 3.
The Sixers. Yeah, the Sixers are ahead of the Nuggets.
And the Sixers too.
That's crazy.
Well, I guess they're making it out of the first round, according to these odds.
Yeah, there you go. Right, like I know.
It's a nice bet, John.
The house always wins, man. Look, even Vegas knows.
I mean, you're not wrong, man.
All right, we got to go with the MVP odds here. Luka Doncic, of course, leads this, along with Nikola Jokic, SGA, Giannis Antetokounmpo. If we go down the list, Victor Wembanyama is 1,700. And then further down, Ja Morant at 4,000. Plus 4,000. Any of these interesting to you guys?
Luka's the favorite.
You guys, if Luka is the favorite, are we going to go by the NBA standard that best player on best team wins MVP? So can we assume that the Mavs will have the best record?
Yeah, according to this, at least.
Would you guys say that though?
No.
Did the Nuggets have the best record last year? I don't think so, right?
The Celtics did.
No, the Thunder did. The Celtics did, but the Thunder had the best in the West.
Yes.
The West, and the Jokic still won the MVP.
That's true.
Yeah, so I think they're going away a little bit from but in fairness, the delta, the difference between the top 3 teams wasn't like significant. I don't think like the Nuggets weren't trailing that far behind from the Thunder, right? I think they were second. Yeah. They were like a close second. What stands out to me is Jokic is this high. Like I don't
still.
Yeah, I just don't see. I think the Nuggets are gonna like fall off quite a bit. Actually, I kind of agree with the previous contenders, or the title contenders. The odds. I think Jokic is too high here. Any value here that you see that you like in the lower tier or middle tiers?
That I like.
Man,
maybe.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Jin.
I was gonna say maybe Victor Wembanyama, but I mean, he would have to at least become like a 5 seed, and he'd have to go absolutely bonkers the whole season. JJ, what are you thinking?
No, like I was gonna say, I think Anthony Edwards is like a favorite amongst fans because of his playing style.
Yeah.
His commercials. We love him here on the pod. I don't know, from looking at the list, I don't know if I could say that I'm surprised that he's not top 5. He's like on the cusp.
Ant-Man?
Yeah, Ant-Man.
This is after they traded for Julius Randle. He dropped 7. He was actually plus 400. No, what do you? Okay, with thought real quick. I know we're kind of running short on time here, but thoughts on Jalen Brunson at plus 1800? I feel like that could be a sneaky one.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's pretty sneaky, especially like if where would the Knicks have to be?
I think they'd have to be. I think Jalen Brunson doesn't have that like persona, which I don't know if they're still using that as criteria. Like I think subjectively, people like to kind of they like the narrative, right? They like the story. So maybe it does work in Jalen Brunson's favor. But to answer your question, I think the Knicks have to be a top 2 seed.
But anyway, guys, that's actually all we have for tonight's show. I want to thank you two for being on. JJ, thanks for being on, man.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you all.
John, thanks for being on.
Hey, good to be back. And Sammy, we'll look forward to your return.
Of course.
Some of us will. Some of us will.
Of course, shout out to Sammy. Shout out to RJ, our video producer. Check out our YouTube channel. Remember to rate, subscribe, and review. Like us on our Facebook group page, The Clinic All NBA Podcast, and follow us on Twitter at Clinic All NBA. I'm Rosa Panta. This is The Clinic All NBA Podcast. Come find us wherever you get your podcasts.
Wow.